Hello, everybody. So this is the podcast for the assignment for February 22nd. So what you guys are going to be doing is simplifying stuff with exponents. And this first part is when you have an exponent on an exponent. So in case that wasn't clear, if you had 7 to the third power, that is an exponent. Okay? So when you have an exponent on an exponent, what do you do? Well, let's look at the basic idea of an exponent. 7 to the third means 7 times 7 times 7. That means 7 to the third power. Okay, these are equivalent statements. So a to the fifth, let's look at this. So I have a to the fifth, which is a times a times a times a times a, 5 times. To the fourth power means there are 4 of these. So a, and then a, and then and So this is a to the fifth, this is a to the fifth, this is a to the fifth. Oh, do I have too many of them? I think I have too many of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have too many of them. This group shouldn't be here. There are 4 a to the fifths. There are 4 of them. Okay. How many a's do you have? Well, I've got 5, 10, 15, 20 of them. So this is worth a to the 20th. That's a lot of work to write these things out. So looking for a shortcut, you've got a, how could I get 20 with a 5 and a 4? Well, multiply. Right? So this, rather than writing out d squared times d squared times d squared times d squared, and then you have d times d times d times d times, so that's this one, this one. Now this one is d times d. This last one is times d times d. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's d to the 8th. What you can do instead, let's go 2 times 4, which is d to the 8th. Okay. So this would be m to the 2 times 3, which is m to the 5th. This would be q 2 times 4, which is q to the 8th. Okay. When you have an exponent on an exponent, you multiply the exponents. Okay. Now, when you're multiplying, what can we find for a shortcut for the exponents? Well, that's c times c times c times c times c times c times c. How many c's do you have? 7 of them. So what could I do with the 3 and the 4 to get 7? You can add them. Equals c to the 7th. So when you're multiplying, you add the exponents. So this, don't say there isn't an exponent here. It actually is a 1, d to the first. So you're multiplying, so you have d to the 1 plus 6 is d to the 7th. So here, you're multiplying, so you add the exponents. So that's q to the 11th. You have an exponent on an exponent, so you multiply the exponents. Okay. Now, this is PEMDAS. I'm trying to, rather than give you guys a new word, help remember what to do with this stuff. I'm going to modify a word you already know, PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. Okay. When you're multiplying, I'm going to drop a level and add my exponents. These horizontal bars mean there's the levels of what you do. Okay. When I have an exponent on an exponent, I'm going to drop a level and multiply. Okay, now we haven't got there yet, but when you're dividing, what do you think you're going to do with your exponents? Subtract. Okay, so this is just rather than learning a new word, I'm trying to adapt to one that you already know. Okay, so this is your assignment. Let me know if I could be of any help. Have yourself a great one.